Hello, everyone. You are listening to your Palm Beach Guide with the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. My name is Kiana Rivera, and I'm the Vice President of Membership here at the Palm Beach Chamber. And today, our guest is Debbie Gross. So hello and welcome.
Thank you.
A few things about Debbie. She has an incredible bio, tons of experiences. But first, Debbie's drive to do her best goes past the time that others call it a day. Licensed in Georgia and Florida, she works for as long as it takes for her seller to sell their home or her buyer to find their perfect home. When a client calls with last-minute issues that could result in the loss of a deal, she jumps into action, working tirelessly so she can pull a rabbit out of a hat for them. With an amazing work ethic coupled with outstanding problem-solving skills, she always gets a big thank you from her clients. She also takes the bull by the horns. What's so special about Debbie is the journey that led her out to our Echo Pod. Spending her early years in New York City, and after a family move, she was then raised in Indianapolis and attended college at Indiana University, earning a degree in elementary education and starting her career as an elementary teacher. More to come on that. Deciding on a career change, she switched to the hospitality industry and worked in both Dallas and Atlanta, organizing special events, developing public relations strategies, and managing a high-end nightclub. Again, more to come on that. With her amazing people skills, she was then recruited to manage the prestigious Promenade restaurant in the Rosewood Mansion at Turtle Creek in Dallas, Texas, where her luxury people skills helped contribute to the hotel receiving its 5-star status. This mixture of different careers gave her the skills that unintentionally shaped her for real estate. When a friend suggested selling luxury condos in Atlanta, Georgia, she went along ready to take that bull by the horns and has been holding on ever since. And then from scraps to scholarships, what has helped her succeed in the luxury real estate business has been the ironclad work ethic she learned from her father. He was a first-generation American whose parents came into this country through Ellis Island and lived through the Great Depression. He was a great part of the he was a part of the hysteria of the War of Worlds and recording Orson Welles, and watched the Hindenburg catch fire, fought during both World War II and the Korean War, and even survived polio. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow. Because of his struggles, Debbie had the opportunity to attend college on the Child of a Disabled Veteran Scholarship and became the first member of her family to receive a college education. And then if you were to ask Debbie for her favorite part of the process of finding someone the perfect home, she would not be able to pick just one. From first impressions to closing, she loves every second of it all, and it will give you 150% of her time when searching for your dream home or selling your current home. On one occasion, she helped a family with 2 daughters try to find a house before the new school year started. When they flew into town, she showed them 30 houses in 10 days. Wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yes. And working together, they finally found that perfect house. The husband stood in the middle of the living room and at the top of his lungs screamed, "I love this house. I'm going to refer you to everyone I know." That is exactly why she's in real estate, and she cannot wait to hear you say, "I love this house too." So Debbie, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Kiana.
Wow.
It's exciting to be here. And I just want to tell you the last clients that you were talking about,
right.
They've actually also bought an investment property from me here in Palm Beach Gardens.
Oh my goodness. Well, of course, the real estate market right now is just shooting through the roof, and it has been for the last couple years. So congratulations on all of that success.
Thank you.
I think that's wonderful. Well, so first, I want to touch on this nightclub life. And then, of course, what else did we talk about?
The elementary education.
Oh my goodness. Well, some background. My mom has been in education her entire life. So she started as a second grade teacher, worked her way all the way up, and now she's in higher education. So I mean, that teacher life, wow, tell me.
So, well, I taught school for a few years in Indianapolis, in the Indianapolis public school system. And unfortunately, at that time, there was an overabundance of school teachers. So it took me a couple of years to get a job. And then eventually I did, every year they sent me to a different school.
Oh, got it.
And then on top of that, we went out on strike.
Oh.
And I carried a picket sign that said, "No moolah, no schoolah."
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
So after a while, I realized that I was just not destined to be a school teacher.
Right.
And what was interesting is they were interviewing, Texas was interviewing school teachers. And in Indianapolis, there was the economy wasn't good. And so I thought, well, I'll move to Texas. I can always get a job as a school teacher if I can't find anything else.
Right.
So I went to Dallas, and through just a fluke of things, ended up in the nightclub business with no background at all.
None.
And just working the door of a nightclub. And then that just kind of snowballed into doing special events and PR for a very, so I helped open up a very high-profile nightclub in Dallas called the Rio Room.
Wow.
And it's funny because I'll talk to different friends of mine from Dallas, and they'll go to, in all areas of the country, they'll go to different homes and they'll see matchboxes that say Rio Room. And so it's fun to kind of get those connections again.
Well, I think, too, nothing prepares you with working with people like the hospitality industry does.
Exactly.
So I always say it should be required that every kid growing up works at some restaurant or in a coffee shop at some point in their life. It should be like required by every parent because it teaches you the best customer service skills.
Exactly.
Because you have to deal with everything in that environment. And I mean, I'm still in the service industry, and there's nothing like it. There's no training like it. You just kind of trial by fire and you make it work. You know, it's one step at a time.
That's exactly right. Because some people treat you very nicely,
right,
and some people
do not.
don't. And it's kind of like anything in life,
right?
And so it did teach me a lot of things because, when people have a few cocktails in them, sometimes they're funny and sometimes they're not.
I love it. So where did you go from Dallas then? If you went from Indianapolis to Dallas to then Atlanta? Or?
Well, I started in Indianapolis because that's where my family ended up. Mm-hmm. And so I went to high school in Indianapolis and then graduated from IU. And then went to Dallas. And my brother and I are very close.
Oh, good.
And I couldn't get him to come to Dallas. He ended up going to Atlanta.
Okay.
And so because of my nightclub experience, the Mansion on Turtle Creek in Dallas reached out to me and they said, look, we need somebody who is experienced working with the luxury clientele.
Right.
We can teach you how to run a restaurant, but we need somebody who knows how to treat luxury people, the luxury clients.
Right.
So I went to work. So I went from working all night, late at night, to having to be up at the crack of dawn
at
6 o'clock in the morning to open the breakfast restaurant at the Promenade. It was, we served breakfast, lunch, and afternoon tea.
Wow.
And so that was a very interesting experience and a great experience. And then after a while, I just... I missed my family.
Right.
I was in Texas. They were in Indianapolis. Then my brother went to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't come to Dallas. So I was like, okay, I got in the car again, took the cat, and drove to Atlanta.
Oh, my goodness. That's incredible. Well, and to pivot, because you have experience in the restaurant business, tell me a little bit about Deb's Dine Dash.
So this is the great thing is, so at Ecofine Properties, I have been working with our videographer, Rob Moore, and we were talking about different things we could do to help my brand, besides just, I'm not the kind of person that can just take a bunch of selfies and put it on Instagram.
Right.
So Rob's like, well, what do you like to do? And I'm like, well, I don't really have any hobbies. Mm-hmm. And so then we started talking, and I was telling him about my restaurant experience. And he said, well, why don't we look and promote restaurants? And it's a great philosophy for Ecofine Properties because we sell real estate. We sell neighborhoods and communities. Why not promote local businesses?
Right.
So we started promoting. And the funny thing is, so Rob goes, well, what should we call it? And I said, well, how about Deb's Dine Dash?
Right.
And that name actually came from the Mansion on Turtle Creek in Dallas.
Oh, my goodness.
When I managed the Promenade restaurant there, the employees of the hotel would refer to it as Deb's Dine Dash.
That's wonderful.
And so that's where the name came from.
Yeah.
And so it's been fun for me because we promote local restaurants. We do a video and we highlight the things that the restaurant has to offer at no cost to the restaurant.
That's incredible.
And then we promote it on our social media. And it's been a win-win. And the nice thing for me, there's a major restaurant group in Atlanta that sent their marketing person to South Florida here.
Oh, my goodness.
And they have 3 restaurants here. And so they have restaurants in Boca and Fort Lauderdale. So we did the videos on these restaurants.
Great.
And so it's been nice. And actually what they did for me was wonderful. They sent out to their huge mailing list, the name of the restaurant featured on Deb's Dine Dash to help promote what I'm doing.
Right.
And so what's been nice for me is being a part of the Palm Beach Chamber. I've had different people help me now. One of the ambassadors that I'm an ambassador with helped hook me up with Benny's on the Beach.
Oh, wonderful.
And another ambassador, I've done the Ambassador Grill. You've helped me get Aqua Cafe that we're working on filming. So it's been really nice. And we've had a good response from people, the restaurants, and doing videos is expensive. Right. So this is something we give to the restaurant. And we've been doing little reels, and we just started an Instagram account for Deb's Dine Dash that we're going to promote stuff on there. So,
I think that's wonderful. And I think too, the focus that you have on supporting that local market, and media is expensive. So the fact that you're able to come in and do this as just a support opportunity to the restaurant, I think is incredible. So
thank you.
Again, you are listening to your Palm Beach Guide with the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce, and we are with Debbie Gross from Deb's Dine Dash, as well as Echo Fine Properties. So this is a great segue into Echo. Tell me how you got involved with Echo and really kind of the philosophy behind it.
Well, what's nice for me is I moved, so I still sell real estate in Atlanta, Georgia. I've had a condo here in Palm Beach County for years and decided to move here full-time in 2019. Got my Florida real estate license, and it was a fluke. I happened to see an ad for Echo Fine Properties. And it's great because the owner, Jeff Lichtenstein, has the same philosophy as I do. And it's just been a great experience for me. And they have helped me become a successful realtor in Palm Beach County, which is huge for me. And Jeff, so the fun thing too is when we started doing the Deb's Dine Dash, they created a logo for me for the Deb's Dine Dash. So I have a real fun little avatar logo that's very fun. And Jeff encourages us to do that. And it's also been helpful for me. It's helped me get involved. Echo was a member of the Palm Beach Chamber. So I talked to Jeff and asked him if I could be Echo's representative for the chamber. And just, the company has helped me tremendously as a realtor and to be successful here.
Well, I think that's so important because your leadership clearly invests in you. Yes. And that's what keeps people employed and keeps your employees in the door, is when you have leadership who not only sees potential in someone, but also is willing to take the time to help shape that. So the fact that they're so supportive of Deb's Dine Dash, of you being the representative for the chamber, of even you being an ambassador of the chamber, it takes so much time to do all of these things, and you do them so well. So
Thank you. You're
really,
sweet. Thank you.
And so it's so incredible to hear that your leadership and the leadership you serve is so supportive of that. And so just to touch on too, like if you're unaware of what an ambassador is, ambassadors with the Palm Beach Chamber are my right hand. They are, you guys keep me sane, basically, is what it is. Because you're my go-to people anytime that I need help and I need just support when it comes to breakfasts, when it comes to orchestrating events, when it comes to even just answering questions that I am not able to see immediately. You guys are able to step in and say, okay, I can fill this in for Kiana. I can step in and provide support here. And I love that, because without you guys, I would be lost. I would be lost at sea. So thank you again, just for all the work you do and the volunteering that you do within the chamber. I really appreciate it so very much.
Thank you. Well, I like the fact too is that when I did make a couple of suggestions to you,
immediately,
you were just right on there. Oh my gosh, that's a great idea.
Right.
Because I sat there and I thought, okay, is she going to think that?
No, never.
But I also like the fact for me, as someone who hasn't lived here for very long, I've made some friends through the chamber.
Good.
I'm making business connections. You encourage helping us with business connections. I'm getting involved in the Women's Leadership Council, which I really liked that last luncheon that we had.
Yes.
So I'm excited about the different things that being involved with the chamber is also offering to me as a member.
Well, and good. And that's exactly what we aim for at the chamber is, for example, you put a huge investment in us, and it's our responsibility to make sure at the end of the day, you get new clients, you make new business relationships. If you create new friendships, amazing. That's like a plus, that's an added bonus. But ultimately it's that bottom line. It's like, you need to be able to get the clients to pay the bills to live. That's just ultimately what it is.
Right.
And I'm so thankful that it's been helpful because, and I'll be the first to say, I am no expert at pretty much anything. I just figure it out as I go, and I'm not afraid to ask questions. So when you say those suggestions to me, even just of table placement, or can we move the music guy because we're shouting so much, I'm like, yes, we'll make it happen next month. And it's helped. It's helped so much. So thank you for all of your suggestions. And as you continue to, branch out with Deb's Dine Dash, and you go from the South Market up to the North Market, like keep growing that in just the best way possible, which I think is great.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. So any new projects on the horizon that you can kind of tease a little bit for future?
Well, our new project really is trying to ramp up the Deb's Dine Dash and do that more. We just created an Instagram account. We're working on a YouTube channel. We're working on TikTok. So that's
good
for my brand.
Yeah.
Obviously, I sell real estate, but I want to also promote local businesses. Right. So that's really the project that I'm working on. So, of course, if any restaurateur is listening and they would like us to do a video, I am happy to do a video for them.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Please, if you are a restaurant business owner or you work in the industry, as my fellow hospitality people know, any press is good press. So please reach out to us. You can get a hold of Deb by contacting myself. You can contact me at the chamber and I'll make the connection. Or Deb, you can share your information as well through, we'll probably link it in the caption below. Okay. So that would be easiest as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And again, I also want to reiterate, there is no cost.
Right, cost
to the restaurant. And we promote it on all of EcoFund Properties social media. I promote it on my personal social media. I also sent in a request for the chamber to follow me on the Instagram.
Absolutely. I think too, again, any coverage, especially the fact that it's at no cost to the restaurant owner is huge.
Yes.
And it really just shows your support for local small business as well as the restaurant industry, because so many mom and pop places, I grew up in Jupiter and Palm Beach Gardens, and there are some staples that, so during COVID especially, they were like, what are we going to do? And it's because of that local community that they made it through that time. So the fact that you're doing this, it's a real support to to the industry. And as someone who's in it, I cannot thank you enough. So I think it's great. It's great. Well, again, you're listening to Your Palm Beach Guide with the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce, and we have been joined by Debbie Gross with EcoFine Properties, as well as Deb's Dine Dash. And Debbie, thank you so much just for being here.
Thank you, Kiana. I appreciate you inviting me.
Yes. Anytime. Have a great day, guys.